Hello and good morning, YouTubers. It's 6:40 in the morning, and if you listen closely, you heard my rooster in the backyard. He is waking up, competing with the other roosters in the neighborhood. This is the Philippines, and here are roosters everywhere, and also a lot of noise in early morning. Well, anyway, today I want to share some thoughts and some ideas and some experience on alcohol and abuse of alcohol. Uh, I became a born again Christian at the age of almost 16 years old. My mother, she always had maybe some bottle of red wine in her cupboard in the kitchen, but she was not a heavy drinker. She would drink once once a week, and we would never notice that there was anything wrong about that. And my father, who was a very Bible believing Lutheran pastor, he was not a drinker at all, but he he never said it's a sin. So actually, when he was a missionary in Cameroon, sometimes he would bring wine because he lived far out in the province, in the jungle or the savannah, whatever you're gonna call it, and there was no wine there. So some people would ask him if he's going to the big city, can you please bring some wine? So he did. Um, and so the concept of alcohol being a sin, that is just not true. Uh, the problem is when it has power over you. So anyway, I just decided why I'm gonna drink because I got a very nice, good deal on my first car and motorcycle insurance when I was 18. If I joined the organization, it's called, what do you call that one? Like you don't touch alcohol at all. So for me, I said, okay, why should I touch alcohol? Become a Christian. I am active in the church, in the Pentecostal church, and there was no tradition for drinking, thank God, in the church. So I thought to myself, okay, even if I'm allowed to drink whatever I want and eat whatever I want according to the Bible, uh, I will I will just be avholdsman, we say in Norwegian. It means like you never really drink alcohol. Okay. I was not a fanatic about it, but I had no reason to get drunk. It happened as I grew up, when I became like 30 years old, that maybe twice during the summer I would have two small bottles of beer together with my shrimps, only for the sake of the taste. So I would never get drunk. When I was a missionary in Romania, I got a lot of grapes on the house roof of the house I rented, and it was so much that I decided, okay, I'm going to try to make some juice. And the juice was very, very lovely. I just pressed it with my hands and strained it, but then I realized I had like 22 kilograms of grapes that were they were being fermented. So I made some makeshift stuff for making wine, and it was bubbling in my pastor's office. And after maybe 4 weeks, I thought to myself, okay, I'm gonna have a taste of this wine. I thought it would be very, very mild, but after drinking one big glass, I realized, oh, I'm getting a bit tipsy, and I cannot allow myself, as a pastor, as a missionary, to get drunk, and I had no interest of it, so I gave all the wine away to the landlord, the owner of the house. So this was my take on alcohol. Then when I was 38, my wife kicked me out of the house and totally destroyed me mentally and socially. And she really destroyed me. Uh, she put me in such a deep depression that I thought everybody hates me. She said, "You are so sick and everybody sees it except yourself. You are too dangerous to be the father of your children. You are hurting and damaging your children." All that kind of bullshit she told me, and I really got so destroyed. But still, I didn't start to drink. But what I did is, okay, that is the second time, in 2001, she actually kidnapped our kids, and wow. Uh, I remember I got drunk once at that time. And then in 2005, November, when she really just kicked me out, and I realized there was no more future with her. And I realized that the Christians, she had put them up against me, the people in my own environment there in the church. It is not my hometown, because she would never be able to put them up against me in my hometown of Stavanger, because they know me for so many years. They know I'm a man of God, a man of character, and so on. But according to our theology, the main theology that I would be following at the time, a conservative theology, remarrying is a sin. Okay, I can come on to that subject on a later occasion. I have some teaching about that in Svovelpredikanten. That is more like my preaching channel. So anyway, what I realized is I'm 38, I'm still very horny, I really need to have a sexual life, I need to have a wife in my life. So what I did, I went online and I tried to find some lady from far away. I went to Indonesia to meet a Christian lady in Java, island of Java in Indonesia. But she was very confusing, and she was lying, and her photo on her profile was like 10 years old. And when I saw her on webcam before I left, the webcam was quite obscure and it was a bit dark, so I couldn't really see that she was no longer the beauty she presented herself to be. But anyway, I decided I'm gonna go there and visit her, but then she was chatting with so many guys, and she said to me, "No, no, just I'm busy these coming 2 weeks." I said, "Hello, I spent a lot of money coming and visiting you. That's why I'm here." I happened to be in the island of Bali, and at that time I really didn't even know that Bali was a part of Indonesia. I had never any plans to stay in Bali. But then I realized, okay, I'm in Bali, and so forth. So I got, to make a long story short, I got a wife, young woman from Bali, took her to Norway, but it was not very successful. She was very interested in other guys, giving them her number and fucking them. So yeah, I said, okay, you just find another guy and then I will divorce you. So that's what she did. And then I went online again to the Philippines this time, and I found a beautiful lady in Cebu. I went for her, and we got engaged, and we had a baby together. But the problem is that, and this was in September 2008. Now the problem was that I was working as a full-time, not full-time, but almost full-time teacher and pastor in the north of Norway from 2007 to 2008 in that season. And I realized that there are so many Christians who really hate the Bible and hate what I'm preaching. I'm conservative, I'm against female pastors, female Bible teachers, and I got so blasted and persecuted And I'm a good man. I am not against women. I mean, on a personal level, I don't care if I mean, that on my personal level, a woman can do whatever she wants. But according to the Bible, it's not allowed for her to be to have authority over men and to teach men. That is very clear in 1 Corinthians chapter 11 and I think it's 1 Timothy chapter 2. Just to read it if you want to. So for me, that is very important to respect my Bible. And by the way, I got this woman from Bali. She was a Hindu, but she became a Christian, even though, well, she was reading the Bible every day after we broke up. So, because I thought if my wife, the Norwegian wife, if she can treat me like the devil, why should I go looking for a Christian woman? It's better I find some woman who is not a Christian, who has not all these ideas and concepts that typical Norwegian Christian woman would have, because I realized I need to be happy, Okay, so I thought to myself, okay, these guys, everybody in the churches, they're gonna condemn me. They're gonna say, why do you remarry? And of course, they would expect me to live like a monk, like my father was expected to live like a monk, since my mother kicked him out of the marriage in 1980. Even before that, she started to do a lot of trickery. So my father was really struggling, and I know him very well. We had a lot of deep conversations, and he agreed with me in my theology. He said, yes, he could have remarried, but that would have destroyed his reputation. That would have destroyed his respect in the Christian communities. So he decided to sacrifice uh, his needs for a wife and to live like a monk for so many, many years. He died in 2015. So from at least I would say from 1977 until 2015, he didn't have any real love in his life. He didn't have a woman, even if he was still married with my mother on the paper. There was nothing for him. And I thought to myself, I'm not going to destroy and sacrifice my life, because I realized that according to the Bible, I am fully in my full right to marry, not only remarry, but marry, because my wife is the one who kicked me out. I loved her. I would never leave her, and I loved her so much that it really made me so depressed. I had nightmares, where the nightmares was like this. Okay, I dream about her, that we are reconciliated, that I'm back with my family, with my kids, and the dream is so realistic. But when I wake up, I realize that it was just a dream. So, bam, I went so desperate into depression. And when I was in the north of Norway, I was teaching there in high school, and students were very, very bad, because I said I was teaching French and English, and some of these students, they couldn't even communicate the simplest sentences, neither in English nor in French. And I told them, I'm gonna fail you. I'm gonna give you 0. If you don't put yourself together, I'm gonna fail you. But I know that is the tradition among some schools and teachers, that you don't fail them. You just like let them go with we call it number 1 in that system. That means like the lowest grade. But if they get 0, they fail. They cannot continue with anything. But I said, you don't deserve a 1. If you cannot count, even from 1 to 5 in French, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you cannot say hello in French, bonjour, good day, comment ça va? If you don't understand any of these things, and you had French in school for 3 years or so, and then English, they had English for 12 years, and they don't even know how to write a half a page in English. No, really, I said, I cannot let you pass. I cannot give you the grade 1. I will give you 0 if you do. But I gave them chances. But instead of listening to me and trying to to put themselves together, they collectively went against me. So that is one thing. But as a professional teacher, I would have to support that. But then my wife from Bali, she started to fuck some other guys and get messages from other guys. And then the guy from another church, a professor, originally from South Africa, he had moved there and he was teaching in the university in that city, and he invited me and my Balinese wife over to him and his Norwegian wife. And he started blasting me because he asked me, so you say you are how can I say, traditional, I mean, yeah, you know what I mean. I'm not a liberal theologian. I am quite conservative. So then he started to blast me and blast me and blast me because I was like a womanizer and I hated the women and all these kind of things. This really destroyed me so much that even if I had a successful work in the Baptist church that I was given at the time, I just decided I'm gonna quit this stuff. And then I became so depressed because of all these things, and I called my kids for the first time in a long time on Christmas Eve 2007 from the north of Norway. I talked to them, but after that I should never have done it because I really went out on a very big depression. I wouldn't see anybody. I got like a panic attack. I never had that kind of things before. And so I stopped working at school. I said I cannot go anymore. It's everything was just breaking down. So then the doctors, of course, they wanted me to take antidepressiva, as we call it in Norwegian. I don't know what you call that one in English, but chemicals to regulate my mood. But as I said, I was always a happy guy. I have been destroyed because of all this bullshit happening around me and with my family, my ex-wife, and that's why I'm depressed. Why should I take some very dangerous chemicals when there is nothing wrong with my brain, nor my body, nor my biology? So what I did, the Bible says in the Proverbs that if you are suffering, really suffering, you should drink wine so you forget your suffering. So that's what I did. I started to drink beer almost every day just to stabilize myself and my feelings. And then when I drank a couple of beers, I would be happy again. I could watch something on TV and laugh, and this burden came off of me. So even if I didn't drink all day, of course not. I went back to Norway. I mean, to the south of Norway. Then I went to Philippines. But in the Philippines it's very cheap with alcohol. So I basically had quite a lot of drinks, but it was not too much. But during the years, this has developed, and it came to the point where I basically have been drinking almost every day to boost my mood. Now I am a professional driver, so I renewed my driver's license back in 2014, and I had a drinking problem at that time, but they took tests and they say it's okay. And then when I was back in Norway in 2018, 2019, 2018, yeah, November until January 2019, I renewed my license again, and my doctor said that we have very good tests if you are, because I told her, yes, I'm drinking almost every day. And she said, okay, we have a test. It will show if you are an alcoholic. And then you will not be able to renew your license. I said, okay. So they took the test, and it turned out I am not an alcoholic. I never experienced like some desperate need for alcohol. actually, I would say that sometimes I will just drink to get to sleep. But then I experienced many times because I was living in Thailand for almost 3 years, and I didn't have a stable partner there. So you can imagine in Pattaya, it's a lot of alcohol abuse there and drinking. You go to the bar and you drink, and what happened many times is that I was drinking too much. I got blackout. I never experienced that before. Actually before I moved to Thailand. And this is quite scary because when you drink so much that you lose your conscience, I mean, I could still talk, I could still drive the motorcycle back home, but I wouldn't remember what I said or what I did or what happened. So this became very crazy. But of course, I could go 1 week without drinking, 2 weeks without drinking, but I would be easily uh, depressed because my ex-wife, she has been very active, my ex-wife from Norway, to take all my money, So I got so depressed and angry because of that. So, and when you are angry and you are depressed and you get drunk, it can easily, even if you get a good mood in the beginning, if you drink enough, it can really turn the other way around. So before I was excusing myself when I was drinking that, oh, when I drink, I just get more happy and I get more kind. And that is true. But in the recent year or so, more than a year, when I had all these struggles with the financial situation because my ex-wife really has been manipulating the system in Norway to rob me. So I was living like really suffering here in the Philippines. Oh my God. I got so mad and I got too drunk and I told her many things. I don't even remember what I said or what I write, and then sometimes I would also um, say bad things to my partner here and scare her and make her very upset with me, and I don't even know. I would wake up in the next day, and she's very angry with me. She don't want to talk to me. And then after a while, I realized, oh, wow, did I behave like that? So I tried to avoid drinking the strong liquor because here in the Philippines, rum is basically the same price as a beer. And of course, everybody knows that if you want to get a bit drunk and you drink rum, it's gonna be much more effective and you're gonna save a lot of money. Now, the problem is if I drink rum or gin and stuff like that, it's very easy for me to get into that blackout condition. If I drink slowly beer, it's okay, it's much more safe, but the beers will be very expensive in the long run. So this has been my situation until I came to the point where I was so sick I had to be hospitalized. So when I was in the hospital, uh, I realized that obviously drinking, even if it was small amounts when I was sick, I was still drinking every day a little bit when I was sick. And obviously this would not help my body to fight the infection, right? And so I have been considering, I started to drink because I was so lonely and so depressed. And then I continued to drink because I liked being intoxicated. It made me happy. But when this happiness goes over to craziness, then it's no longer a cool game, okay? So my wife said, please stop drinking, she said when we were in the hospital. And I said, I don't know if I can promise I will never drink, but at least I would maybe drink only once a week. And she accepted that. I have my reasons would like to drink alcohol sometimes. It has to do with my health and to protect myself from future health problems. I don't want to go into details what that is, but it has something to do with a disease, a serious disease in our family. And actually drinking beer and alcohol and smoking tobacco and drinking coffee might help to avoid that illness that my father had, that my uncle had, that my grandfather had. But I realized I need a totally new situation. I have a boy, I have a partner that loves me, and the financial situation will only endure until July this year. Then I will be finished because my youngest daughter in Norway, she will turn 18, and so my ex-wife in Norway, she cannot anymore rob me of half my pension. So that will be lovely, and it's only a few months until that time. So I I'm not promising that I will never get drunk, but if you see my videos, you see that I'm almost constantly a bit tipsy, sometimes too tipsy. And I'd have no reason anymore because I'm seeing the light in the tunnel. I'm seeing that I'm going to get out of this financial trap and suffering very soon. So I don't see any point why should I get drunk. And actually, when you have been drinking so much as I've been doing for so many years, it's very dangerous even to have just one beer. So it's better not to have the first beer at all or the first drink at all. So I will keep you updated on what is happening there. I hope I can totally stop drinking, except for, as I said, maybe once a week I will have a smaller amount of alcohol. But now in the coming weeks, I will not even touch alcohol. Maybe I will never touch alcohol again. We will see, okay? I hope you had some good advice from this, and if you are in a similar situation, I wish you can also get out of the trap of alcohol. God bless you.